So in 1997, we celebrated Hancher's 25th anniversary, and 25 years ago, it's gone fast. We had Simon Estes, he was the performer. But what really sticks with me is the Hancher Guild. They came together and they put together a gala. It was a great gala. And the theme was for the love of Hancher. I'll never forget it. I had felt that in my heart, but to really see those words and to know that all these other people had that same feeling about Hancher. It's been a labor of love. We have really taken Hancher into our hearts, like so many people, of course. Well, Hancher's been the central part of our lives too, but we've gained so much from that. We've learned so much from that. And I would say we're richer people because of that. I think of all the people we've met, all the people who, in a lot of ways, we call family now, Hancher has given us that opportunity. And what I always say is those front doors are larger than the doors that are in that lobby. Hancher welcomes, and Hancher wants everybody to be a part of the experience. We care. We care about people. And to me, that's been the biggest joy, because I love people. Mm-hmm. You know that.
Sure. I noticed.
And Kim has put up with that, but in such a gracious way. No. Yeah, you have. I always say that I think a lot of our donors really like her more than they like me.
Wow.
You've been a major part of this journey, dear. And
it's been fun.
Yeah. And you always say that, someday it's going to be over.
Yep, and pretty quick.
And it's going to be over.
But we've had 500 wonderful experiences and met so many wonderful people, and how can you top it?
Years ago, Sandy Boyd, a past president, he said, "Chuck, you're a friend maker." And he said, keep that going. And that's been my inspiration.
In 2013, before we broke ground, I had the privilege of presenting to some of the Friends of Hancher events that Chuck would organize. And it was the first time I used the John Ruskin quote, which goes something like this: "Therefore, when we build, let us think that we build forever. Let it not be for present delight, nor for present use alone. Let it be such work as our descendants will thank us for, and let us think as we lay stone on stone, that a time is to come when those stones will be held sacred, because our hands have touched them, and that men will say as they look upon them, and the labor-wrought substance of them, see, this our fathers did for us." So I used that quote then. I printed it. It's hanging in my office, and I think of Chuck, because when I think about, look what he has done, not just the building, but the legacy, the stone on stone, the friendships that he's developed with me, with my wife, that's his legacy. Not just the building, but what he has left for us.
Hello, Chuck. This is Jim and Judy Houghton. It's really with a sadness that we're doing this little video and saying goodbye to you as the head honcho of Hancher. It has been wonderful having you at the helm, and we're going to miss you.
We've really enjoyed having Hancher in our lives for so long. The first Hancher was built when we were in high school, and since then our children and us have enjoyed Hancher so much. It's a family bonding experience to come to Hancher, and our kids love performing at Hancher during their dance recitals, and we're just so thankful to have Hancher in Iowa City.
And you can't look at Hancher without seeing Chuck. His stamp is on that. His heart is in all of that, and you can't. I certainly we can't see. Can't imagine not thinking of that. He really has left a mark on the community in terms of loving Hancher and appreciating all of it has to offer. It's not just music or not just theater. It's everything, and something, something will appeal to everyone that they can really enjoy that.
It was coming to Hancher and being surrounded by people who I could brainstorm with, who I could bump ideas off of. And of course, nobody more than you in our morning conversations. The stimulation, the fun, having to defend your ideas, all of that was what was so special to me about being at Hancher.
It's I'm kind of mourning right now, just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Hancher's been, it's been a love of mine for 37 years.
Yeah. I know.
I get a little pit in my stomach.
I feel so lucky to have had a career that I just hate to leave, because I talk to people that retirement is just, they can't wait, counting the years. But instead I've counted the friends, and to me, that is the most important of all.
Everybody has that first time experience in Hancher and who they saw and what and how it impacted them. And that legacy goes, to thousands, tens of thousands, all those people. And I think that's one of the things is as you leave, your legacy is still there and it's spreading.
Chuck, I want to say what's been interesting in this journey that you have been on, that we have been on together, is through adversity, you have that same smile that you're wearing now.
But you have been exemplary, Chuck. I can't think of anyone who has greater integrity. I can't think of any of our colleagues who feels the work,
Yes.
the mission, the impact, why we do what we do. I can't think of anyone who feels it more than you do. And I love it when you wear your heart on your sleeve. And I think there's not enough of that in our field.
I can't really express how grateful I am to Chuck for the extra time, care, love that he showed to me as a new kid on the block in this consortium. I'll be completely honest with you. You all are legends in this field, seriously. And it's a little bit, I'll admit, it's very intimidating to be in the presence of folks like yourselves. And Chuck made me feel right at home from the get-go. And what I really appreciate about him is that he represents everything to me that is good about this work that we do.
The thing when I think of Hancher and when I think of Chuck Swanson, I think of, as Nancy, relationships. And Chuck, you're the kind of person that you can, men or women, can go up and give a hug, and love shines through, and that's a good thing. And you're one of the rare people in the world that I could say does that and builds those relationships and makes people want to come back or makes people want to invest.
And one day I met this magnanimous person. And then, of course, I had not fallen under the spell of Chuck Swanson yet. But having met him and seeing that there were no bounds to his energy and effort to keep Hancher alive, during this very difficult time. What struck me most, Chuck, about you at that time, as other administrators were worried about the bricks and mortar of recovering their buildings and getting them back and open, for campus activity, yours was never about the building. Yours really was about the people. It was about the program. It was about the performance. It was about presenting, right? As a presenter, it was about presenting a program, not just to our campus, but to the people of Iowa.
Your passion and enthusiasm is contagious. It really is, and it really brings it out in others.
And your enthusiasm and passion is infectious as can be. But I went around the building with you, describing what to the grandchildren what you were, what's this next thing. And I remember the time that we came to this woman with these huge butterfly wings, all illuminated. It was and I'm not sure if it was your grandkids' eyes or your eyes that were the biggest, because they were just, everything was in awe, and you were explaining it so beautifully to these children. So your enthusiasm for all the arts.
And I think the first thing that really grabbed my attention was just his passion and his excitement for Hancher. And it was incredible, like how much energy and excitement he had putting into that place. And so what I really appreciated about our conversation was how willing he was to think outside the box and really like entertain all kinds of crazy ideas. And I mean, who else, would have a phone call with someone they don't know and then agree to let them rappel off the side of their brand new building before it was even finished, and then have 20 performers running around with fire and pyro and stuff outside.
Chuck, thank you for a marvelous, marvelous lifetime of Hancher and the shows you have selected. And the other thing about you is you're so darn personable. It's just a delight when you enter the room and you know everybody and you know how to pull us all together. And it's been really, really fun.
So I was on tour in Iowa, and Chuck was basically like our roadie. He was like our tour manager. So like we were traveling all over Iowa in a van. And like there was another van with like the speakers and stuff, and then the dancers, and then there was like the Chuck van. And so we got to know each other. We got quite, chumsy, and we had parties at his mother's. God bless her, rest in peace. And like we became family. We became family, and to end that tour off with our final performance at Hancher was canceled because of a little bit of rain. This is 2008.
I was actually across the river.
That's a flood, right?
It's interesting, when 2008 happened, it was sad, but it was sad for really kind of not for a very long period of time.
Well, for quite a while.
Yeah.
We didn't know what was going to happen.
Well, but finally we got word that we had the opportunity to design and build a new Hancher. And in a lot of ways, we had outgrown that building. And Clark Pelly really was so excited. Caesar always said that he had never an opportunity before to build in such a gorgeous setting and to sprawl.
Yeah. They're usually confined within a city and only have so many square feet to put it.
So to them, it was like a kid in a candy store in so many ways. And what I love too is the staff was so involved. Mm-hmm. And that's why we ended up with a functional building. Yep. The box office, the backstage, front of house, even the guild. I mean, everybody had a piece of this. And more than anything, this team listened. I'll never forget them coming with their design, New Haven, Clark Pelly, big deal. And they would listen, and they would go back and they would change according to what they really gathered from the staff.
But really, when that first building went down, that was sad, not just for Hancher, but the whole arts community. And I remember I was sandbagging, everybody came down to sandbag, and really it was traumatic. You just thought, oh my gosh, how long is this ever going to take to rebuild, and will it? And it was a big deal.
And I'll never forget when the flood, immediately after it happened, we wanted to maintain our sense of optimism. And everything you read or heard on the news, it was so dire. It was just, not good news at all. So we came up with this theme of can't contain us. And I loved it. It showed the optimism, the hope, the magic of Hancher and the magic of the staff.
These weren't going to be beaten.
You bet. And my first boss, and what a great boss, Philip Jones, he went to the dean's meeting. And I remember him coming back and calling me, and he said, you know, Chuck, everybody at that meeting was talking about Hancher. They loved the optimism. They loved the positive, because that was the only positive message around our university and community. And that was Hancher, darn it. That's great. So it was really teamwork, and it was really, as I said, the result, as Caesar said too, this real spirit of love. You know, Hancher is, it's special, you know? It really is. It's a place that touches hearts, you know, and loyal hearts.
And then came the new Hancher, and your heart and soul is in that building. We all know that. That was such a magnificent creation. And all of your colleagues, you talked about the MUPs, those folks are major university presenters from the biggest name institutions in the country. And they all revere you and look to you for the kinds of things that you do.
Let's understand the creativity, imagination, perseverance that was required for you to find all these alternative spots, deal with managements, deal with artists. Let's just pause there and say, Chuck, none of us has had to face that, okay? And that you conquered that needs to be celebrated. And I hope the folks, as you're leaving, will understand how unique that is in our field and how we all admired and respected you so much for how you managed that whole thing, then garnering the funds and getting that fabulous architect and getting that entire state of Iowa behind, we got to rebuild Hancher. You know, I hope those are tears, Val, because, you know, people we need to remind you of how unique and special that was. So, man, congratulations.
Hancher was not an easy build by any stretch. It was challenging in so many different ways. And what Chuck would bring every time he would come to the job site is this energy. No matter what kind of crappy day we'd have, what kind of angst we had, what kind of battles we'd have to fight, he would come to the job, whether it's a safety lunch or a tour, and he would bring this high energy. He would stop and talk to every craft person that would give him a minute and just energize them. And that energized the whole team. And I'm not saying it because I witnessed it. He elevated that whole team. When we were down, he would bring that energy. And without that energy, I think it honestly would have been a different project.
This flood of 2008.
Everything could have just stopped.
I mean, it would have been very easy to say, well, we just, that's the end of that.
When we have a building,
we've lost our venue. How are we ever going to be able to recover that? We can't reopen that venue. It's destroyed. But you didn't say no. You said no. We can do this. And of course, your enthusiasm, your support, your optimism, you kept the show going on, which is always the important thing.
Talk about legacy, like his fingerprints are all over that building. And there's so much love that that vibrational baptism that Chuck has poured over that building. And I've walked that building with Chuck several times when he gave me a tour and when he's given other people the tour, and he's so enamored by the people that touched the material there.
You've been such a visionary, Chuck, and you have such a creative soul, and you are so wonderful at relating to people and collaborating with people. We just have been so thankful to have you at Hancher, and we're really going to miss you.
Chuck, great job. You've been a rock star, and we appreciate all that you have done.
We do. Thanks so much.
You. And it has been an honor to
work alongside you and to perform for you these past many, many years. So congratulations. It will not be the same without you, but you have made it what it truly is, which is a wonderful and beautiful, incredible space for all. So congratulations. I love you, and cheers to the next adventure.
Goodness sakes, the programming has been tremendous through the years. I've seen so many plays and shows there that I would never ever see otherwise, since I don't travel that much, and otherwise you have to go to Chicago or Des Moines to see similar programming, and so I've just really enjoyed it so much, and congratulations to you, Chuck, on doing such a great job on bringing in high quality performances.
On behalf of my wife, Vicki, and myself, we'd like to say thank you to Chuck for all the years of wonderful programming, director leadership of Hancher, and our friendship outside of Hancher as well. Chuck has made the Hancher space an intimate experience, one like a jazz club, and we've appreciated the warm, friendly environment that always makes us feel welcome, along with 2,000 other special people in that space. What a wonderful career you have had, Chuck, and what wonderful experiences you have provided for all of us. Again, on behalf of Vicki and myself, we want to wish both you and Kim congratulations and the best of luck moving forward in the future. If I had a little more time than these 90 seconds, I would fill you in with some other stories about Chuck and Kim. Until then, thank you very much for everything you have done and what you have brought this campus and this state. So long.
And his enthusiasm is so infectious that you cannot be down when you're with him. He lifts up your spirits and he lifts up your enthusiasm for Hancher.
He's very grounded and also a dreamer, and he thinks about how he can make a human, personal contact with the audience and with people. And it's all about the friendships. It's about being a friend maker. You may say, I'm a dreamer, right? Remember that? That's Chuck. That's his t-shirt.
And this is the thing with Chuck, is like, it's about the people. And he's like, how can we get as many people to be touched and affected and moved and changed by the art that he has the opportunity to bring in to the community?
His excitement and his desire to engage the community and to inspire other people is, I think, one of the things that he's really shared with all the artists that have come there. And I think that will be one of his biggest legacies.
You know, Rhoda, we've had so many adventures, and I think about the consult that you have provided, in addition to your support in so many ways. You helped me through so many things, and one was the weather, Rhoda. You were always my weather guru. You would always call me and make me, because we had so many outdoor events.
I know, but I don't know how that started. I think it started with you saying, oh, I wonder what the weather will be, and I said the weather will be fine.
You bet. Remember when we took the Joffrey around the state?
Boy, do I remember.
And
it never rained.
Oh, and you and John helped to make that happen in a big way, Sue.
I know it. I know we did, but we did it only because we knew how much it meant to us and how much it meant to you.
Oh.
That we could do it together.
Yeah, and we did it together.
We did it, and it didn't dare rain. I don't know what comes next, but I do know that there'll never be another Chuck. There'll never be another one of those.
Oh, I love you, Susan.
I love you, Chuck.
Oh, we're so lucky. We've had a great. We do. We've had a good time, Sue.
We've had a wonderful time.
We really have.
Chuck, I want to say something before I have to zoom off somewhere else. One of the things that Susie Farr said to me many, many years ago is that you can only bring substantive, lasting change to a community if you stay. And Chuck, my friend, you stayed. And not only is the University of Iowa better for it, not only is your communities better for it, the entire state and all of us are better because you stayed. Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Susie.
50 years of presenting some of the world's finest, and 50 years of building relationships, and 50 years of really making a difference in people's lives. I just, I'm not going to be here, but I can't wait to hear or know what the next 50 is going to be, because, we're leaving Hancher in such a great way, in such a terrific way. My parents always taught me, leave something better than when you had it. And that's what I've tried to do. Like everything, Hancher has had some real challenges over the years. Hancher has really faced some obstacles, but at the same time, we have this staff and my spirit too. We made it. We made it through a lot of things. And during the pandemic, we went through a strategic planning process. And part of that was really establishing, again, Hancher's core values. We look at the core values, of course, of the university, and that guides the work that we do, but we ourselves wanted our own core values. And my dear friend, Brian Anstead, who I respect so much, he's our production manager. I'll never forget when he spoke up about core values and was people first. We've always felt that. But for that to be in writing and that to be a part of what guides us here at Hancher, I'm forever grateful to Brian for coming up with that, because, words do make a difference. And for us to have that in our minds with every decision that we make, Hancher does care. Hancher cares about people, and people first. Kim and I will never stop loving Hancher. We'll never stop loving the University of Iowa. And in my heart, it will always be people first.
We've known each other for a long time, more than 50 years. And way back then, we were wondering, what are we going to do when we're 50? Well, now, I'm hoping, we can start wondering what we're going to do when we're 70 and 80 and so on. I'm wishing you all the best as you embark on this new chapter. Thanks so much.
Hi, Mimi and Papa, I love you so much. Hi, Mimi and Papa, I love you so much. My favorite memory at Hancher Auditorium is when Papa brought the ballet to Muscatine, and I'm so glad all my friends could make it.
Hi, I'm Mimi and Papa. I love you both so much.
We're so excited to come back to Iowa to help celebrate with you. My favorite memory at Hancher was when San Jose Tycho came and I got to eat lunch with Franco. We are so excited for you to be retired because now you can come back to Pittsburgh anytime. I love you so much.
So that's essentially the basis for my saying you need to create magic.
You always said that.
You always said keep moving, you create magic. And that's what you have to do. And then you sell the tickets. Now we had some hard times. Prince didn't come cheap.
Because I think of all the things we could be doing, and I always say I'm the luckiest shit in the world, really. I felt that.
Okay, we got to make certain that quote
What's that?
That quote the luckiest shit.
It's the dinner. And the last thing I want to say is when I grow up, I want to be Chuck Swanson. I'll end it with that.
Papa, the best is yet to come.